letting you have it.
He laid it on.
Sometimes that's something special.
Now, he has a brother, it's all right when you shoot there.
Come on, wave at me.
Wave at him, Rock.
Wave at me. Wave at me, Brock. Say, hey, Jack. Can you?
I believe that, man.
Is that Becky? Stop and wave at me, Ari.
Jack.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Well, yeah, I knew that, but these focusing on.
Now it does. Alan?
He's out on the truck.
That's okay. Wave one more time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go catch up with the ball.
Jack, it'd be better for him to come inside.
Yes, ma'am. Yep, you can get them in there.
We'll run back by there.
Yeah, we're going through.
My mother's dad. James E. Bratton was born 1844, and he died 1916. James E. Bratton was born January the 27th, 1844, in York County, in South Carolina, to Thomas and Elizabeth Bratton. James was the fourth child born to Tom and Elizabeth. His brothers and sisters were Mary, Elizabeth, Sarah, and Martha, and one brother, Rolf Bratton. James's childhood was spent farming cotton and working the garden on his father's farm near Sharon, South Carolina. On the 1860 census, the family is shown having $190 real estate value, $141 personal value. Not bad for that day and age. And that year, James was 16 years old. The next year, in 1861, James' life changed drastically. The war between the states interrupted thousands of lives, and our James enlisted in the Company K, 17th South Carolina Volunteers. The 17th was in the Army of Northern Virginia under command of General Robert E. Lee. And my mother, Bernice, told me several times that her father told her and had mentioned seeing General Lee riding on his regiment. And the 17th was involved in some of the bloodiest battles of the war. The Second Bull Run in Virginia, Antietam in Maryland, South Mountain in Maryland, and of course the crater in Petersburg, Virginia. Mother told me of when James returned home to the war-torn South and about what went on. And another story was that how he walked for miles hunting seed corn the first year he come back. Mother told me again when James was on a troop train and it was overcrowded and he had nowhere to sit down except on the edge, and his pocket knife fell out of his pocket during the travel and to be lost forever. In 1870, James married Mary Elizabeth McDaniel, and together they had 14 children. And now then I'm going to call the ladies first, and then the men last. And I don't know for certain that this is exactly how the age was, but Cordelia and Molly, Isabel, Effie, Hannah, Bernie, and then Uncle Bud was the oldest of the men, and his name was James, but they called him Bud. Nathaniel, Hampton, Alberry, Ernest, Benjamin, Rush, and they had a little son, 2 years old, Miles, that died when he was 2. And James raised his family in the Wilsonville community. His descendants are populated throughout the United States. He lived his entire life on the farm, dedicated to his family and his God. On March 17, 1916, James died and buried in the Avenue Creek Cemetery. We can all be proud of him and all the brothers in our family. And that is all on James. I got a little book here that he carried in the war between the states. If anybody wants to see it, they're welcome to do so. I got it right here.